This video is sponsored by Catchbox.
This phone box is a throwable microphone by Catchbox. You're listening to the audio of the microphone as it goes through to Zoom right now. I know Nicole is pretty excited about it. What's that, Nicole? Our friends on Zoom can't hear you.
Sounds like a game changer to me, Tom.
Howdy folks, my name is Thom Gibson. If you're new here, my channel is all about helping middle school STEM teachers design an engaging classroom experience for their students and a fulfilling teaching experience for themselves. A few months ago, I made a video about audio in the hybrid classroom. The gist of the video was that if you wanted students in the classroom to be heard by the students at home, they'd have to be on Zoom, unmute themselves while you muted your speakers so there was no feedback. Not an ideal setup, but it was the best that I could come up with. When I was researching in preparation for that video, I came across a company that made a throwable microphone. I was curious about it. I asked a question on their YouTube video about it. They went to my YouTube channel, saw the type of content that I make, and reached out and said they would love to sponsor a video on my channel. If you don't know, I actually studied audio engineering in college, so I am a nerd about all things audio. Some of my most popular videos on here actually have to do with like microphones and audio settings and things like that, particularly in a hybrid classroom. So it seemed like a perfect fit and collaboration. And I'm pretty excited to share how Catchbox has become the best classroom microphone that I've used. Catchbox solves three problems that we face in the hybrid classroom. The first problem is your at-home students generally cannot hear your in-person students very clearly. The second, most systems to make that happen cause audio feedback. The third, in order for your students in person to be heard by your at-home students, they have to still be on Zoom so they can unmute themselves, which means more screen time even though they are back on campus. When we started hybrid, I did not want my students on the computer as much because I felt this past year they have been on their computers the entire time. But if they had something to say and I wanted the students at home to hear them, they needed to be on Zoom to unmute. And if I forgot to mute my speaker, we would get audio feedback.
I have feedback for you, Tom.
If someone in the classroom has something to say, I toss the throwable microphone to them and it picks up what they have to say so everyone at home can hear them clearly. So what do you think of that, Candace?
Are we getting extra credit for being here?
No need for me to repeat what student says. There is no audio feedback to avoid and no need for all the students in the classroom to have Zoom out in front of them.
When I was in middle school, there was one Spanish teacher that had the reputation for being the teacher that would throw the football to students to answer questions. I remember kids just talking about how much fun it was. Oh, he's the teacher that throws the football, and how much more engaged students were just for the simple fact of catching a football, answering it, and then throwing it back. I never had Mr. Boyce as a teacher, but now I can bring the fun and the energy of Mr. Boyce's class into my class with a throwable microphone that not only solves my audio issues, but it's also fun just to throw things in class. It should go without saying, but you should probably tell your students not to throw the microphone as hard as they can, not to try to peg someone in the head with the microphone, not to punt the microphone because it's super durable, but you don't want to give your students the challenge of trying to break your equipment.
And so I wondered if the microphone would actually pick up a lot of the bumps and the throws whenever it was being tossed around, which would be super annoying for the students listening on Zoom. But it has built-in Automute technology. So that way, whenever you throw it, it mutes and you hear different bumps in the microphone. So feel free to have as many classroom mic drop moments as you'd like.
Even if you're not teaching students in person and at home at the same time, if you have any lessons or discussions that you do need to record for other students to watch asynchronously, Catchbox will make sure that all of that audio is clear for the students watching the lesson later. I have been using the Catchbox Plus system, which not only includes the throwable microphone, but the presenter microphone that can go around your neck.
So right now you're hearing the presenter mic, which is nice because I can stand up and walk around and the students at home can still hear me clearly, even though I'm not right next to my computer. Previously, I wore my Apple AirPod to serve the same purpose, but my ear got tired after like 30 minutes. So this is a lot more ideal. And I can still converse with students in the classroom that have the throwable microphone, and both of us can be heard clearly. So how was your weekend, Alyssa?
You said this is only going to take 5 minutes, Tom.
They also have a lapel microphone that you can clip onto your shirt and then plug in right here, and you can just clip the presenter mic to your waist if you don't want this hanging down and prefer the more conspicuous lapel microphone.
And here's what the more minimal lapel looks and sounds like.
So both the throwable microphone and the presenter microphone wirelessly connect with this. I didn't actually have to sync it up with this receiver, it just automatically connected with it. And then this is plugged into my computer via USB. And there's nothing to install. Once you open up Zoom, you will automatically see when you click to the microphone, you will automatically see Catchbox right there for the microphone. And then you'll just click on that. And now it's just taking the audio from this receiver, which is pulling the throwable microphone and the presenter microphone into the Zoom call, so my students at home can hear both of them simultaneously. And I use this external speaker, and so that way when my students at home are talking, it'll come out of these speakers and we can hear them pretty clearly. I was worried at first of like, oh, if that audio comes out, is it gonna feed into the microphone and cause like a feedback loop? But that hasn't been a problem, so that's good. I was also worried, like if I have the presenter mic close to me and the throwable mic close to me, are my students at home gonna hear double because my voice is going into both of the microphones? But the technology in here keeps it from doubling, and so your students at home don't hear like your voice twice from 2 different microphones or anything like that. And if you're in a larger classroom, auditorium, or studio, the Catchbox Plus system uses a decked frequency, so it's going to work up to 330 feet away from the receiver. Additionally, you can plug your Catchbox system into a sound system. The receiver has an XLR. You can actually hear me coming through the sound system right now, as well as a 1/4 inch. And so you can connect that directly to a speaker. So it serves as just an amplification system as well. And so at our school, we typically would have these really large assemblies in this studio during non-COVID times. And often a presenter would be up here with the microphone, and then we would ask students out in the crowd, usually without those tables, what they thought about something. A lot of times you couldn't hear what students were saying. The nice thing is with the presenter mic, they can walk around, they're coming through the amplification system, and so that way your presenter and your students can easily be heard on the amplification system.
Great throw, Tom.
The throwable microphone charges on a wireless dock that I can just place on top of the dock in between classes. And then the presenter mic has this separate dock that you just put it on to charge that. But both of them should be able to last the whole day on one charge. You can get to the outside customize, which is nice. I got the Thom Gibson Media blue with my little TG logo there. I saw some online that had like, room for 201. It's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, especially if you have several of these in a school and you know where each one belongs to, because they're all paired to their own individual receiver. Teachers, talk to your admin about getting a Catchbox for your classroom, or go to Donors Choose, which is a website where you can crowdfund and put out the request that says, hey, I would love to get a Catchbox for my classroom so all of my students can be heard clearly, and people donate so that you can purchase one for your classroom. If you do end up getting one, use the link down in the description. It is an affiliate link where if you do purchase it using that link, I receive a commission of the sale, but it doesn't change the price for you, so it goes on to support the work that I'm doing here on this channel. Let me know what questions you have down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Friends on Zoom at home. Can't on Zoom. Can't on Zoom. Can't hear you.
Sounds like a game changer to me.
Next one.